back to all my writer friends. Whether you are a journalist, a blogger, an author, whether you write horror, thrillers, or romance, doesn't matter. We all gather. This is a safe place for all of you writers to gather with me as we talk about how to become more productive in our careers, to write more words more consistently, to write better words, and when we write those words, to find our target readers and market to them appropriately so we can grow our audience. Now, a hot topic among authors today is AI, artificial intelligence. How should we react to AI? Should we fear it? Is it going to take our careers away? And the first thing I want to start with is AI is not a replacement for human beings. It is a tool. So whether you are talking about writing models like ChatGPT, Claude, there are just more and more tools available every day, and they're becoming more and more robust. However, it's crucial to point this out. AI is designed to serve as a tool for writers and to assist them, not replace them. So the fundamental purpose of AI in writing is to streamline processes, providing utilities in numerous ways, and we're going to get into them. They tackle many of the tedious aspects of writing, and they allow writers to concentrate on the important stuff, generating innovative ideas, crafting engaging narratives, and developing well-rounded characters. So with AI, not surprisingly, there is no longer writer's block. If you believe that writer's block is a thing, I'm not convinced that it is. Either way, writer's block can't hold up to AI because AI is there to assist you anytime that you're stuck in your novel or for a topic or what to write next. So writing models generate text based on the prompts that we give them, and they provide inspiration or starting points for all of us to use. And this ability to generate diverse content helps writers break free from the confines of creative ruts. It stimulates our imagination and it encourages a free flow of ideas. It's important to note that AI-generated outputs are suggestions. The writer retains creative control, of course, over their own project, whether they want to accept, modify, or completely discard any suggestion that AI gives them. So as long as you maintain your own creativity, you'll know if AI is serving you rather than getting in your way. So a writing model like ChatGPT, which is one of the writing models which I use, is trained on an extensive data set, and it can create human-like text, but it lacks the ability to understand and appreciate the art of writing. And that's important whether you're writing fiction or nonfiction, or you're a journalist, a blogger, whatever. There is always an art to our writing. AI operates by recognizing and mimicking patterns in the data that they're trained on. So they lack a human touch and the ability to infuse personal experiences, emotions, cultural understanding, creative flair. None of these things are within the realm of AI, and they never will be. Writing is as much an art as it is a skill, and the ability to craft a piece that resonates with our readers on a deep emotional level is something AI simply cannot replicate. So a writer's touch is absolutely irreplaceable. So let's get into that and what we mean. So the essence of storytelling lies in the ability to connect on an emotional level with the reader. And storytelling, I paint with a wide brush. when I say storytelling, because even when we write an article, a nonfiction article for our blog, for a magazine that we work for, we are still storytelling with our readers. These stories reflect human conditions, joys, sorrows, challenges, triumphs that we all experience. They evoke empathy, they spark inspiration, and they foster senses of understanding and connection. And this emotional depth and richness is something that only a human can bring to the table. Those personal experiences and emotional understanding are beyond the grasp of AI and probably always will be. Right? So right now I'm presenting arguments that writers are already making as to why AI shouldn't be used. But I'm here to tell you that I think that it is a beneficial tool to all of us, and it can't replace us because of the reasons which I've just outlaid. And yes, AI models are going to get better and better and better. I mean, we're up to ChatGPT 4. 3.5, which is the first one which I came on board with and started to use, is quite powerful in its own right. And going up to 4, that was a noticeable difference. And I can only imagine what 4.5, if we get an intermediate release sometime this fall, as is being rumored, or we see ChatGPT 5 sometime in the next 365 days, I can only imagine the huge jump in writing ability that it's going to take. It is very impressive already. I could tell you that from experience, it can't write a book. It really can't. But it can certainly help you break out of ruts and give you ideas for your book, especially in the planning stage. I think that's where it really shines. So let's get back into it. Creative writing, that's a personal process. It's filled with moments of introspection, self-discovery, and growth. And AI simply lacks consciousness and self-awareness, and it can't participate or contribute in the human aspect of writing. Robots don't have feelings. This is something which we remember all the way back to Arnold Schwarzenegger and the Terminator. So artificial intelligence, for all of its sophistication, does not possess human emotions or experiences. It can't feel joy, sadness, or anger. It can't draw on the experiences that we have. And human writers, on the other hand, can weave narratives that touch our readers' hearts, whether we are writing fiction or nonfiction. And that is simply not something which AI can replace just because it's been trained on us. That's another important part. Remember that the training that AI is working off of is human writing. And the minute humans stop writing, there's absolutely no way for the AI to progress. It can't learn anything more unless we teach it more. So AI doesn't innovate. It simply learns. It doesn't come up with stories on its own. It generates, let's say, for instance, that like me, you write thrillers, or maybe you write some romance, horror, whatever genre you like to write in. If you tell AI to come up with some ideas for a story, it's going to come up with elements of the genre that it already understands, and is going to generate combinations of known elements which already exist in that genre, but not until we give it something to base it on. So we need to give it prompts. So again, it is the writer which is providing the inspiration and the true creativity. So AI can only think inside the box, not outside of the box. And we define as writers what it sees inside of that box and what it acts upon. So another example would be if you write outside of normal genre norms, or maybe you're like J.K. Rowling and you combine genres. She took coming of age and combined it with fantasy and a little dose of young adult books, and boom, she had Harry Potter, one of the most successful series of all times. And that series does not fit into a preconceived genre, and it didn't until she wrote it. This isn't something that AI is capable of. If you have some genre twisting idea in your head, believe me, there's no way that AI can come up with it and beat you to the punch. That is only something which you, the true creative, can come up with. What I want you to think of AI as is a writing partner to bounce ideas off of. That's what I use AI for. I'm not using AI to write chapters for me and to finish books in record time, although it does allow me to finish quicker because it helps me generate new ideas when I'm in the brainstorming phase. And if I get stuck on an idea which I just feel like it just doesn't work, where should I take the character next? Where should I take this scene next? I can call upon AI, and like that, I get some examples of places where I could take my story, and then it's up to me to choose which way to go. And I find this just to be great inspiration. It would be like if you had your own personal writing partner sitting next to you that you could bounce ideas off of anytime that you got stuck. So this is great for a writer. It allows you to incorporate AI into your workflow and shift your mindset to viewing AI as a tool, not as a crutch, which simply creates novels for you because you can't get off the schneid and write books on your own. You can collaborate with AI for character and plot development. For fiction writers, AI is a creative partner, and it is wonderful for suggesting backstories, character names, plot lines, and often it can do this with just a little bit of input. And boom, you get answers right away. It's fantastic. Another great use of AI, and this is probably something you haven't considered yet, is editing and proofreading. Now, AI can't replace an actual editor or a skilled proofreader, but it can catch a lot of problems ahead of time before you give that final manuscript over to your editor, and it will save your editor time and your proofreader's time. So like a tool like Grammarly, these days is leveraging AI to identify grammatical errors, awkward phrasing, issues with tone, and you can even use AI voice synthesis to read manuscripts back to you. One of my favorites is called Speechify. There are numerous AI voice tools out there right now. And again, this is another area which is growing leaps and bounds day after day. It's changing. But this is one which I use on a daily basis. And it's just wonderful to listen to your manuscript read by AI. So there is some inflection. And doesn't just sound like a robot. It certainly doesn't compare to a human narrator, but it's pretty good, and it kind of frees you up and allows you to sit back and listen to like a paragraph you just wrote or a chapter, and you'll catch errors left and right like this. I'm constantly catching awkward phrasing. Never again will I use the word redolent about 25 times in a single novel, which I did with Storberry, my first novel. So, hey, there you go. Leverage AI for research, too. That's another great idea for writers. AI tools can assist writers with research and make it faster than ever. It's like using a search engine like Google, but it is vastly quicker because it's already aggregated all of that data. Now, here's one caveat to keep in mind. Just like I said, we train AI how to approach a genre or how to approach a character. We also train it by teaching it what is true and what isn't true. So if AI goes out and aggregates a bunch of data that it found on the internet, hey, I've never found anything on the internet that wasn't true, right? Have you? So this is a problem too, where we need to fact check. But AI still speeds up the process rather than just typing it into Google. I mean, AI is going to be a lot quicker than Google is going to be in returning us a concise answer when we're doing research on characters, plots, story arcs, whatever. Unless, of course, in terms of speed, we're talking about Google's AI, which is also coming out, and I imagine it's going to be groundbreaking. AI is great for inspiration. We talked about writer's block, coming up with fresh ideas. AI that is can generate ideas, titles, and even like portions of first drafts just based on simple input. And I just love the idea of generating titles with my AI. AI is great for that, and boy, I wish I had it back in 2014. I never would have, I'm back to Storberry again, I never would have called my vampire horror novel Storberry, which is just not exactly a name which evokes horror and mystery. So, most people need to see the cover before they have any idea what my book is about. So yeah, ugh, that was a big mistake. But the ideas which AI give us, they're not going to be perfect, but they serve as starting points, and we can refine upon them and build upon them. They're also really good tools for language translation. So if you're looking to reach a global audience, AI is a great starting point and can be a terrific assistant for helping you. It's not going to replace an interpreter, somebody who is skilled enough to convert your book and translate your book into different languages, but it is a great start. Tools like DeepL and Google Translate, they help writers translate their works into different languages. They break down barriers. They're allowing writers to connect with readers around the world. So again, use it as a tool. Don't use it as a crutch. Accessibility tools. That's another great reason to use AI. So it can make your writing more accessible with speech to text. It helps you to jot down ideas and draft content and make your writing more accessible to people who may be blind, so they need to listen back to it. And it can help you proofread, as I mentioned before. I absolutely love AI for proofreading. Feedback and learning. AI tools can analyze your writing for potential issues and insensitive language, helping you create content that is more inclusive and respectful. I'm very guilty of using the term handyman quite a bit. There's always some handyman working in my novels, and is often set up as the false suspect for a crime. So that's my bad. Anybody can be a handy person, of course. So, little things like this, AI can catch and say, you may want to think about rephrasing that. So I love it from that aspect as well. And just for time management perspectives, AI is great with scheduling, setting reminders, predicting how much time your writing task is going to take, whether we're talking about like your word output for the day or an entire novel project, how long that is going to take. So it allows writers like us to manage our time more effectively. So as far as I'm concerned, AI and authors, that's a match made in heaven. I resisted it for about a year. I must admit to that. The more I learned about it, the more that I started to open up to the potential that it could be useful. And now the way I look at it is, I view it as indispensable. And people who are ignoring AI and fearing AI are no different than people who ignored and feared the internet for a long time before they finally embraced it and realized that it wasn't going to replace all of us and replace thinking. Although the way some people act on the internet, I guess it has replaced thinking for some people. And, the computer replacing the typewriter. I mean, who would think? And of course, that one person out there who uses the typewriter right now is getting all red-faced. Good on you. Hey, if you like it, stick with it. But I feel that AI has gotten to the point where it's an indispensable tool if used properly. So I want to know, how are you using AI? And if you haven't used AI yet, why not? And please leave comments below. Make sure, if you enjoyed this episode, to share it with your writer friends. Give it a like. And by all means, subscribe. Click that subscribe button. And I'll give you a lot more content just like this on this channel. Also, invite you wholeheartedly to visit all of my free information and research, which I offer to writers from all walks of life at writingsuccess.danpadavona.com, and Padavona is spelled Padavona. And shoot me an email when you get there. I'd love to hear from you.